Okay, the plot thickens in the shocking and interesting case of Remy Ma's son. He was formally charged in a 7-count indictment for the 2021 homicide of Gillebeaux, along with a guy named Swygert. Now, this Swygert guy has been in jail, as best as I can tell. He's been on Rikers Island since the end of 2021 because he was charged in maybe three homicides in 2021. He was charged late in the year, and I think in November he was charged for the September homicide of a guy in a karaoke bar, which it doesn't, from the newspaper article, there was no fight. Like he just went in a karaoke bar and shot a guy in the stomach, like a neighborhood bar, like where the neighborhood junior dope man might hang out. I'm just guessing. And he was, when he was charged with that, he was already in, or no, he was charged with that and was in custody. And while he was sitting in Rikers at the end of 2021, they charged him with what appears to have been the very first homicide of the year in New York in 2021. The January 1st, like 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 people, he is accused of shooting 3 people outside of the Umbrella Hotel in Kew Gardens, Queens, which I think is right around that South Jamaica area. The Umbrella Hotel has since been closed. Remember, the beginning of 2021 was prime pandemic, and the dope was going and the streets were hot. And this Swygert was charged with, Remy Ma's son's co-defendant was charged with shooting 3 people outside the Umbrella Hotel in Kew Gardens, unaliving one of them. So Remy Ma's son was running around with the guy that committed the very first homicide, allegedly, of the whole year of 2021. He's been locked up since the end of 2021. That's 2.5 years. Kind of makes you wonder, did he trade info on Remy Ma's son? And remember, from the start of Remy Ma's son, Jayson, being charged, the police said it was M for hire, homicide for hire. Well, how would you know that? Unless you had somebody that was involved, like the other trigger man, which is what Swygert's accused of being of. And mind you, Remy Ma's son and Mr. Swygert are on various surveillance cameras. So you certainly can get away with things nowadays, but you can't be questioned, or you can't be a suspect at all. Because once you're a suspect, there's cameras everywhere in New York City. Now they can start to say, well, okay, you had a mask on, but you were seen, because remember, there's cameras all over New York. And then they take your phone. Well, just so you know, they don't have to have your phone. You could throw your phone away. If you have a phone in your name, or a name they can trace to you, they go subpoena the phone records, or just get into your Google account or your Apple and trace precisely where your phone was at. So now if someone says, oh, Joe Blow did such and such crime, they look at your phone, the movement of your phone's GPS, and they say, oh, yeah, at 6:15, just like when the victim said, Joe Blow was at this exact location, and then he walked around the corner where we found the pistol dumped in the dumpster, and then he went back home. So using the phone data, they were able to now match Remy Ma's son with being at the place. So Swygert and Jayson parked a red 2018 Hyundai Elantra, got out, walked around the block, saw Mr. Gillebeaux, went and did what they did, went back to the red Hyundai, drove just a couple blocks, and swapped for a, I don't know, these guys have, I don't know what's so popular about Hyundai Elantras, but they swapped the 2018 for a 2017 model in silver instead of red. It has some distinctive damage on the bumper. So again, easy to track their movements with cameras all over New York City. So you combine the phone data, so you see where they're at, and then you go to a business that's at that location, and you have them pull their camera, and you say, oh, there's our car, and pulled up, and there's our two guys got out, and there they are getting into another car. Now let's follow their phone data. So you can combine the phone data with the local cameras to see where people is at. On that note, some months back, partners in an art gallery in LA, $30,000 work of art that was a canvas comes up missing one night. Only me and two other people have the key. In fact, Freeway Rick Ross's, not the rapper, the real Freeway Rick, me and him and two other people, the only ones that had the key. Now, me and Freeway Rick's son don't steal. And the third guy was the other guy really whose gallery it is. I help him out. He likes to call me his partner, but I'm helpful. So that left someone else, but he was equally, nobody thought anybody that had a key would steal. And there was one of those camera things set up that was facing our building, and my buddy got the footage, and sure enough, saw the fourth guy go in there with a razor blade, slice it. We could see him through the plate glass window, rolled it up, and walked out. Called the guy up, sent him the footage, and said, we know you did it. And he met up with my man and gave him the art back, so the police never got in contact. But yeah, cameras are always watching you. They were watching Remy Ma's son. But so his co-defendant, his co-D, as they say in Rikers Island, where they're both at, is charged with 3 more homicides, or two more incidents. I can't remember if it was 2 homicides or there was 2 in one of the incidents. But the Kew Gardens and another one in a Queens karaoke bar. And Remy Ma's son, of course, had been sitting on Rikers Island for a couple months himself because he got pulled over with a tall cup of the leaning syrup and, more importantly, a 40 cal with the extendo. Remy Ma, papoose, what type of parenting is this? You knew where he is at when it was his call time on the episode of You Getting Married, where he was giving Remy Ma away because her father couldn't give her away. Sounds like he might have been running around part of a homicide for hire crew to me. And don't be mad at me, I'm just repeating what the district attorney's office has said. And Mr. Swygert, his co-defendant, had been sitting in jail for over 2 years facing these other bodies. And suddenly, Remy Ma's son is charged in the homicide of Mr. Gillebeaux. There's no witness. There's no eyewitness. It's just the camera footage and the phones. So how did his name get put in the mix? Sounds like his buddy might have put it there, Mr. Swygert. So it's an update on the Remy Ma case. El Prophet, America.